This it is a real pleasure to be back. Hope everyone is having a wonderful year. We are excited. You are here with us, and we are here with you. And we would like to hear from you as we begin our session. Personally, I've missed everyone. People who are watching us on YouTube, thank you very much. We missed you very much. This is going to be an interesting session, and I would like you not to miss out. People who are watching us on LinkedIn, it's a very good, wonderful connecting device, networking tool. So, greetings. And people who are watching us on Facebook, we are very happy to have you. So today is an exciting day because we have a Tek Expert. We have Gary from Tek Expert, and he'll be telling us about everything you need to know about business process outsourcing. Our friends who are following us from the diaspora, people in different countries, please let us know where you are. Personally, I'm still in Kigali, so if you've moved around, which is a normal thing for every human being to do, uh, please let us know where you've moved to. And for those of you, if it's your first time here, welcome. We would love to share this wonderful moment with you. My name is Lydia Ingavide, and I'm a labor market matching specialist. And in what I do, I make sure that uh, the employer and the employee have the information they need to interact in this in the labor market. So I am very sad when HRs don't get the people they want, and it also makes me sad when people do not find the jobs they deserve. So that's why I'm here to give you all the information. And thank you, Francine. Yeah, we're happy to be back, and we're gonna stay here for a while. Thank you, everyone who's letting us know where they are. We see people from Sudan and Netherlands. We are still in Kigali. Now, I know most of you missed my co-host, Norbert. I'm going to bring him up very soon. Norbert, please welcome. Say greetings to our audience.
Hello, good afternoon, everybody. It's good to be back. I think I missed the last three shows, but my colleague Lydia handled that very well. But I am back now, and I'm happy to have you guys joining us. I see we have people from the US, from India, from Sudan, Brazil. So that's great. And as always, it's always a pleasure to be with you and to provide you with the necessary information that you need in terms of labor markets. I think today is our 12th session. And today we're hosting Tek Experts who will be telling, as Lydia has said, will be telling us about business process outsourcing. Um, Previously, we had Harambe, we're accelerating youth employment. Then we also had Jobs in Rwanda, how to optimize your career search. And then we also had Ingomoko, where they were talking about how to grow your career and business. And also, these sessions are always recorded, so you can always catch them on YouTube. And remember to always follow us on Skills Rwanda on Twitter, Facebook, and LinkedIn. You will get all the information that you need about these bi-weekly sessions that we're always hosting. And yeah, but basically today we're doing business process outsourcing, which is a practice of contracting specific work to an external service provider. So you get it a lot in accounting, telemarketing, digital marketing, customer support. And with today's session, we're going to be talking about IT support. I think I'll hand over back to you, Lydia. But remember to follow us on Skills Rwanda, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Norbert. And welcome everyone who's letting us know where they are, people from South Africa, Paris, France. We are very happy. And of course, as RDB, we are more interested in, making sure we attract you as an investor. And we also give you information that you need to come and invest in Rwanda, run your business in Rwanda. But I'm not going to be spending much of the time that we have, which is a very limited resource. I'm going to welcome Gary. Gary is the country manager of Tek Experts Rwanda. Need to make sure I get that correct. And Gary, please welcome to the session.
Good afternoon, Kigali. How are you doing? And hello to the rest of the world. We have people literally from every corner of the world. So good afternoon, good evening, and really great to be here. Thank you, Lydia. Thank you, Norbert.
Thank you, Gary. Gary, if you could, we can start off this session with you telling us a little bit about yourself and how you finding Kigali, and then you can also dive in and let us talk to us about Tek Experts Rwanda.
For sure. Sounds good to me. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm Gary. I've been in Rwanda probably around about 6 months now. I've spent the last 17 or so years in South Africa. So as you can tell, it's not a traditional South African accent. I grew up in the UK, so originally from the UK, and about 17 years ago, I was working for Virgin, for the Virgin Group, Richard Branson, so that's Virgin Airways, Virgin Mobile, all that kind of thing, and the gyms from a South African perspective. And I went to South Africa to set up an operation for them over there, a bit like the operation we've got here. And then I never went home. So I stayed in South Africa, and I had a really great experience from working for initially setting up the operation in South Africa. Then I stayed and became part of the outsourcing community in South Africa. So working for different companies, be they global or domestically, to provide, as Norbert talked about, these outsourcing services. So where we take on the responsibility and accountability to deliver a key part of a business's, I guess it's their silverware. We look after their customers to make sure that we give the experience that makes the brand work, that makes the service work, and ultimately makes people more sticky and stays with those kind of customers that we work for. So yeah, I've worked in supporting customers in the UK, in the US, and obviously in the countries we're in as well. So the ability to support countries outside of the one you're sat in is the real key and is the real benefit, because it allows people to learn really great skills from a communication point of view, just from the exposure to people globally. Like we're talking to people all over the world now. Well, you're doing that every day when you're on the phones, when you're talking with people, and you're able to solve their problems. So it's very empowering and very rewarding.
Absolutely. Well, you have vast experience, and we are very excited to have you today because Tek Experts is one of those initiatives that the government of Rwanda really was excited to implement and support for various reasons. And the one that I'm mostly interested in is for the kind of employment, the quality employment that it brings to the IT world. And I think it's a really great perspective. And I think we can now dive into Tek Expert. You can tell us about it, and then dive into the presentation.
Yeah, for sure. Willingly. You're going to pop it up on the screen for me?
Yes.
Marvelous.
Let me bring it up. It's right there.
Stunning. Thank you very much. Okay, so exactly what Lydia said, what business process outsourcing can do and what it can give to an individual, to a community, and to somewhere like Rwanda can make a real big difference. It involves both people, it involves infrastructure, it's got scale, and it's something that can be a bit of a game changer. I've seen it in South Africa, and my context from a South African perspective, when I first turned up there, I worked with the Department of Trade and Industry to complete the first grant application. We were literally at the start point of creating something that is now probably the world's leading outsourcing center. So South Africa has taken it on over the last 15 to 17 years and turned it into something that's a real game changer. And that's the plan very much from my perspective here. And the start point is the slide you've got on the screen. From Tek Experts' point of view. So what do we do? What are we about? And a bit about why we're in Rwanda. So I think what I wanted to do was firstly take it back. So Tek Experts is actually part of a wider group. It's called the YNV Group. And the group has really grown up around people and around how we can make a difference to people and provide opportunities. Tek Experts is the cornerstone of it. So bottom left of your screens as you're watching, by far the biggest part of the group. So the group itself is about 5,000 plus employees, but Tek is by far the lion's share of that. So we provide, and we'll talk a bit more about it, the technical support to big companies across the globe. So we'll talk through a bit about that as we go through the slides. Then what happened is you've got a company like Tek Experts, and you'll see if there are outsourcers who are on the line. And if you're working for an outsourced company, it's about people. And the big difference you have is being able to find talent, is being able to create talent, and then maintain and engage the talent when you're working with people. So what you kind of end up saying to yourself is, well, we need to do more of that. So what was created was Elevate. And Elevate is our digital skilling partner. So that's a mixture of creating our technical skills and our digital skills, but also creating our people skills. And I guess the term that everyone's moving away from now, but old school like me, those soft skills. How do you engage? How do you work with somebody? How do you problem solve? And the thinking that goes behind being a successful person in support or even in outsourcing. Once you've kind of got the ability to find people and you're training them and you're giving them the skills, then how do you manage careers? So how do you say to somebody, right, you're doing really well at what you're doing now. Wouldn't it be great if you wanted to go to that role over there, be it a senior engineer, be it a person in HR or in communications? And what are the things that you would need to do to get there? So WISE is a piece of technology, a piece of software that we've developed and we've got as a separate entity that maps career journeys and maps the learning that's required to get you to that next level. So you're able to see, right, I'm here now. This is the skills I've had. What skills and competencies and programs do I need to go on and learn so I'm ready for that next role? And it maps those and tracks them. So it acts as the tool that supports you through that, supports you through your learning journey and through your career journey. And it's something we use internally, but it's something we also work with external clients to say, well, this could probably work for you and help with your overall engagement, but with your learning and ensuring that you are really retaining people and getting them to where they want to be in their career. Now, it's all about people. We've said that. So outsourcing is all about people. It's also about training. It's also about career journeys. But we all, in the days of yore, before the pandemic, we all sat in really great buildings. And that's what Everty was all about. So Everty is our property arm. So Everty develops the building that I'm sat in here in Kigali, develops the building and owns the building that's in Colorado, and all of our buildings across the world that have Everty presence. Nigeria, for instance, we actually built and set up the building. So it allows us to be our own landlord, and we can be the best tenant. And obviously we extend those services for the rest of the capacity that's in the building. So we own buildings. We have a hospitality arm that owns really, really smart villas in like Santorini in Greece or in Costa Rica. So we've spread to say, right, how do you create a people experience that isn't just about employment and training, but it's also about when they have the holidays, where they stay and what they do. And then finally, Monify is the latest edition. And this goes back to very much the people side and the scale you have when you start to outsourcing and you've got 5,000 employees. People have needs. People have needs that require financial support at certain times in their lives. We all do. We all either have something we have to do very quickly, or we have that thing we want to save for and we need support to buy it come the end of the day. So Monify is a digital lending company that currently exists in Costa Rica. So it started in our Costa Rican part of the world, and they provide digital lending. Really good, really fast, really speedy digital lending from end to end. Just about to launch a mortgage product as well. So really looking to see how we can support the people that work for us, but then as an extension of that, the people in that wider community. Because there's a real sense of, from a value perspective, making sure we put that customer first or our people first. And as you can see from the companies, how we adapt and we evolve and we drive those values throughout all that we do when we create companies and create experiences for people. This gives you a sense of where we're at. So the little dots, if you can see them, represent the colors for the different countries. And as you can see, a lot of the companies are in most countries. We are a little blue dot in the middle there. We've got Tek Experts is up and running. We've just set up Elevate here. So I'm very pleased to announce that Elevate is now in the country. So we will start to do more digital transformation work and digital training work based out of Rwanda into the rest of Africa and for our team here. And then my drive is very much to see how we bring more Everty presence to the country. We get Wise live here so that we have as many little colored dots as the Costa Rica team does from a Kigali perspective. So we will invest more and more from a YMV group perspective in the country, as well as bringing Tek here as the start point, as the pioneer, if you like. Tek itself, it's quite a busy slide, bit of map of the world, so that shows where the Tek locations are. So you can see the Tek locations are very much spread between supporting time zones. So you've got an America time zone over on the left, Asia time zone over on the right, and then in the middle, EMEA time zone. So we can support across the globe. In fact, the operation and team we have here supports 24/7. So we have teams that cover literally the entire time zone. The key from a Tek Experts perspective and what we do is it's not just about resolving the case. I mean, obviously it is case handling. So easiest to use is Microsoft probably as an example. You will raise a ticket or a case because you've got a problem with Teams, and we will actually lift that and we will resolve it for Microsoft. Now, the nice thing is, and to using day-to-day Windows operating systems, those kind of things. But then we also talk about cloud services, 365 services, so the products that sit in the cloud, right through to the Azure and Dynamics kind of real hardcore technical kind of software engineering fixes that we have to do to fix bugs and work closely with our clients to make sure that those bug fixes are put into future releases. So we have an ability to create a career journey. Someone can join, do the kind of more day-to-day services that we're all used to using, and then we can develop that skill and potential right the way through to working through to products like Dynamics, which is CRMs for customers, and financial ERP systems. So a real good level of technology and understanding, and we've got the ability to grow that career through the technology that we utilize. As I said, sit across lots of locations, so we have the ability to handle cases across many locations and hand over between locations should we need to, if there's a priority one somewhere. And like I said, the real key is making sure the case is resolved well, the customer is satisfied, they've got the resolve, and we close that case with each customer each time, and then work through getting the feedback and understanding what worked and what didn't. So, Elevate. I wanted to paint a bit of a picture of what Elevate looks like. So Elevate is our partner for global skilling, and we really work very closely with them to be able to create that talent and that career journey that's going to make a difference. It's very much about building that competence. It's very much about that start and assessing before you start the journey, and how you then move on in through your career journey. And through that, it's very practical. So we talk about lifelong learning and talk about how we practice the skills, how we work to develop those skills, and how the Elevate team can deliver that knowledge pretty much anywhere in the world. So we deliver remotely out of different locations, and we have a team here delivering on site. So the digital skilling piece is really, really key for us. And this is a team of people that work with governments in places like Qatar and Costa Rica, and we're doing more external skilling here is because we want to be able to build the pipeline of people that we can recruit in the future. We'll talk a bit more about the journey in a second and where Tek have got to currently, because we have a sight and aspirations to definitely grow and build to 500,000 people. But through what's happened over the last couple of years, we've had to really change and review the way we grow and what we're doing as we've all moved through those kind of COVID pandemics. So we'll talk a bit about the journey and how Elevate will support the growth, and certainly how Elevate support creating that talent pipeline. When someone joins, and I guess from working with the skills team here at RDB, it's good to understand what happens and what's that journey. So on the screen gives you a bit of a sense of that. So far left-hand side, it is about building that hiring pool. We'll talk a bit about that later, but when you work in outsourcing, it's really interesting because you have to create a pool of interest and a pool of people and skill that you can tap into. So what we do is we create skill knowing that we will have pipeline in the future. So we're very much driven by our clients. So our clients kind of decide how many people, when, and create the forecast that allow us to grow our business. So we need to create skill and have lots of conversations and run lots of assessment centers to be able to see what skill and what talent is out there. And then we can work out when somebody comes to the country, one of our clients, and says, oh yeah, we need 200 people in a couple of months' time. We've got that talent ready. What we can't ever do is be ready for a client and then have to sit and start from day one. We have to have a pool of people ready. And I know that can be frustrating because we have these conversations, we talk about employment opportunities, and then they don't materialize as quickly as we would like or as that person would like. So we have to work quite clever and quite smart with that and make sure that the process is engaging and it builds those skills. Then once you've gone through that and the client said, yeah, we want to put more people there, we want to put a couple of hundred people there, we start with new employer orientation, which is all around the company, the values, what are we about, what do we do, and how are you going to grow? So we start those processes. Your usual kind of new employer orientation stuff. What's it going to be like? What's Tek Experts going to be like? How's your career going to develop? Then we start technical training. So we would move straight into the technical side of things. And that's a mixture of some technical fundamentals. It's a mixture of specific product training, and then also the skills that sit around being able to deliver some of that training. So really, really important part. And, we've taken the team we've got here through that for a particular client. We went live with a different client here in Rwanda, and we've taken them through that 3 to 5 weeks of training. And then you move into a nesting period where we literally support you through those first cases you're handling. So you'll work collaboratively. Somebody will handle a case. You'll have 4 people sat around you, and you'll be able to just work through that case and resolve it for a customer. So that nesting period, that supportive period, makes a real difference before you can start to move through your career and work out what next and where next and how do you want it to work. So creating success for the individual is the real key. Is the bit that makes a real difference. Then just a final bit, I wanted just to tie that in so you got a sense of what that means, because we've found the person, we've created the pipeline, found the person, and then put them through the Elevate piece, work with them to create the training, and then the WISE element comes in. So we have Talent WISE within Tek Experts, and we have monthly check-in process through that, and then we will start to grow. How do those career journeys work? So I've tried to work here with the team we've got on site to say, right, what will the next year look like? What does it look like from a skills perspective? So when will we be able to put you through some kind of certification? When will we see growth? When the next sort of group of people will come in? How will that affect you from a remuneration point of view? So how will you be able to learn more? How will you be able to earn more, create quarterly incentives, and all those kind of things that sit behind the skills that you've developed? When we were talking about the session as well, so that gives you a sense of the YMV group, then Tek Experts, and how the group then starts to work together, because there's a real sense and a value that we have of working stronger together makes a big difference. And I feel that quite strongly with Rwanda, being able to work with RDB, being able to work with the Ministry of ICT or Miniduk or the NGO providers that we have here, and the government organizations that are really supporting and working to drive skills and opportunity within Rwanda. So that stronger together piece is really, really key. And one of the things that Lydia said was, well, why are you sat here? Why come to Rwanda? We started to invest in Nigeria probably 3 or so years ago. Nigeria is about 1,700 people. So it's a significant site for us, and really showcased the ability we have to deliver service out of Africa. So it's a bit of a wordy slide, so I apologize if you're looking on your phones or your tablets or whatever. So it's the sense of I'm trying to give you is what is it you look for? Why Rwanda? Why come here? So we've you really look for a couple of things. Some of it about, is it safe? Is it a good environment to work in? And as you can see from some of the numbers you've got there, it's a really, really safe environment to work in. It's ranked as a safe environment. We all know it as that as we live here. So it's very easy to do business here. So being able to come into the country, being able to work with the team at RDB and create a business is really, really easy to do. And that makes a difference when you've got 6 other global locations and you need to slot something new into an existing business framework. Very connected. So we've got good connectivity, both domestically. So our last mile connectivity and also connected to the rest of the world. So, regionally, we've got good internet connectivity. It makes a really big difference. And along with that, we've got the ability to bring skill and create skill here. So moving skill into a country to create a BPO environment makes a real difference. So that skills transfer piece to create the leaders of the future, the workforce planners of the future, the trainers of the future, makes a really, really big difference. So we've got infrastructure, we've got a safe place to come. So when clients come here, it's good and it's a good place to be. We've got good business continuity. So we've got the ability to do work from home, which I think is important in our new world. We haven't done enough of it at the moment as we're going through our initial training period, but we will start to see how we test work from home and see how it works for us. And then you come to some of the really key bits, and the next two little boxes down the bottom are about people again. So we've got English as an official language. So we've got a good understanding of English and a good comprehension of English. Definitely an area to work on. It's definitely something that's, I think when we talk a bit about the skills pipeline, how do we create more of that spoken English ability? So there's no need for you to sound like me in any way, shape or form, but that ability to clearly communicate what you're trying to express to somebody in a different country makes a real big difference to your success. So it is about clarity of communication. It's about neutrality of accent. It's making sure that you can really express what you want to do. And I guess the example would be I can speak an element of French, but you couldn't stick me in a French call center and be successful because I just don't have that strong linguistic ability. So that working with the likes of Harambee, who you'd heard from one of the previous sessions like this, makes a real difference to be able to help support the spoken English elements of what makes this job successful. Then you've got the skill from just pure knowledge. So we have really great university graduates in country, and we create a lot of them. And that's certainly across IT disciplines, but across all kinds of disciplines. So you have a real group of people who are used to learning and used to developing their skills. And we saw that with the guys we put into training here. In the first week or so, it was like this is all new. We hadn't seen the technology before, but that ability to adapt and to learn and to take feedback and then really study. We've got a really successful initial operation upstairs working for one of our clients, creating 5-star experiences to people all over the world. And, really, really proud of the guys we've got and the team that we've got upstairs to be able to work through that. And we will work to help grow those careers now as we start to bring more people into the business. And then finally, we've got a real conscious ability to create roles and opportunities for all members of society. So here, this one is just purely highlighting gender equality. We've as well, from a Tek Experts point of view, got a real bias towards people with disabilities. So I'm really keen and working with an umbrella organization called Newdoor, and we look for candidates and put candidates through our pre-skilling programs to be able to really focus on how we are more inclusive into the community. So we can bring our people with disabilities in here. We've started to create a bit of sponsorship with the Paralympic Committee here in Rwanda. So we've sponsored them recently to be able to generate more skills and more ability and more opportunities to get the Rwandan population into our Paralympic teams, maybe in Paris in 24 or the next games in 28. So coming in and being able to create something that supports the community and going that extra mile to say, we're here, but we want to do more than just create job opportunities is a really good thing for me. And I like to be able to do some of that. I'll stop warbling in a minute and we'll stop for some questions, but I just wanted to give you just a final view and a sense of where I'm sat and what we actually created here, because it has been a bit of a journey for us. It's the pictures on the left are actually the Soros Towers. So that tower on the left would say Dr. Agarwal all over it. If you know Dr. Agarwal's eye hospital, makes it really easy for me because I say that and everyone goes, oh yeah, I know where you are. And then the pictures in the middle kind of give you a sense of what the environment's like. The environment is set up to be collaborative, to be bright, to allow people to talk and work on cases. As you can see in the middle, the environment there is just a shared working space downstairs. And this all came from a real journey. So the Tek Experts team started doing this way back in 2019, way before me, and started to do the site due diligence. So looking for a second African site. So looking at other countries, be it Ghana or Kenya, and saying, right, which one do we want to look at and what works for us? So that list we talked about before of security and connectivity and infrastructure and people and skill, or all the things that said, yeah, let's go to Rwanda. Then 2020 came, and we did some initial assessments in 2019, and obviously 2020, everything kind of got paused. The pandemic was a real pause on our plans and what we wanted to do and how we wanted to grow. And that rumbled on right into 2021. So we did some assessment centers in 2021. We were really fortunate enough, we got supported by Harambee. We assessed around 500 odd people, and we were looking at creating might start with the Microsoft business here in Rwanda. And then we had to pause the building because we went into hard lockdown again. We had to pause some of the recruitment activities. And finally, what actually washed out the end of it was us going live on the 6th of September with the building that you can see on the left, but going live with a completely different client that had a different skill set of people. So we had to very quickly shift. And I guess this is one of those learnings from an outsourcing perspective and having to work closely with your clients, is we shifted to a completely different skill set of person that we needed to be able to come in and start working on what is our Micro Focus business that we now have live here. So Micro Focus guys went into training in September and then went live in October. It was a much smaller start for us than we thought when we were planning back in March. The pandemic changed, the desire for certainly our global clients not to be able to travel and sign off locations. So we went live with Micro Focus with around 60 people. We've actually got 53 engineers working in the team upstairs, and we're about to double that in the next couple of months. And they went live and they've done brilliantly. The reason they've done that is through their skill, through their effort, through what we've been able to support them through. And that means that we will start to see the growth that we thought way back in 2019 would be happening then, and we planned for at the beginning of 2021. We'll start to see a second client coming in. We've got them coming into country in April. They'll be able to sign the country off from a compliance perspective, from a delivery perspective, and then we'll start to see growth going forward. So I feel fairly sure there are people on the call who've been through some of these experiences, have been assessed with us, and it will happen. These things take a while. Like I said, in South Africa, it took 15 to 17 years. It's going to be quicker, don't worry, to be able to grow a business process outsourcing industry, because of the skills you need and to be able to develop those skills. So we have had to make a bit of a change, and we've ducked and we've dived and we've created a stunning environment. So as you can see, the environment there is really, really great. We've been able to create the employee value proposition that sits behind that. So we've got the ability to have events. So this weekend, we've got a bit of a party going on. If you can see behind me, there's an award that we won from a Rwanda team, from the global team, just around being stronger together and creating the center that we've got here, supporting community activities, all those kind of things. We've created an environment that I'm very passionate about wanting people to work in. It makes a real difference, and it makes the job, the daily job, which is quite tough, a lot easier if you've got an environment you want to work in, surrounded by people who've got like values. And this is the only way we're going to make outsourcing successful, is to make the environment and the people really, really work well. We don't create anything. We don't build anything. People are the bit that makes the difference. So my success and my team's success, and when we work together, is all about making sure the environment and the work that you do and the skills that you have make you successful in your job, because that's the only way we're going to be successful. You will be very pleased to know that I will stop talking briefly and allow people to ask any questions. Lydia, this is the co-hosting bit now. How does that work?
It looks great. It looks great, Gary. Thank you so much. I think that was great information packed into brief minutes. I feel like almost all the questions that I had have been answered.
Marvelous. Thank you very much. It's been really great working with you all. Goodbye.
Absolutely. Because this is from me, and I think our audience must have interesting questions of what they want to ask, Tek Experts. And I mean, Gary, this makes me feel like I wasted all my time writing down my questions that I had to ask. But I know our audience, and we really have an interesting question from Mokosi Benedict. He's from Botswana. I'm just going to bring it up here on the screen. Norbert?
Yeah, thank you, Moketsi from Botswana. And basically, Gary, he's just asking here, which markets do you outsource your workforce to?
So the primary focus is global clients. So we really work towards scale. So the main client you know is obviously Microsoft, like I said. So the aim and the clients we would be looking for would be global companies providing software and technical support. And that can be anywhere in the globe. So it could be a company in Silicon Valley, it could be out of Europe, it could be out of Asia. So we market to all markets, I guess, across the globe. I'm very keen that we work to see how we can do more of that in Africa. So it would need to be companies that are Pan-African from a tech support, but how could we support? There are companies providing big data centers across Africa. How do we support that? So how does the talent that we have support those kind of initiatives? Certainly from an Elevate perspective, we will look to do digital skills initiatives directly in Rwanda, in Kinyarwanda if necessary. So we will try and develop our products to be more Africa-centric, to be able to provide support to people like the Smart Africa team, to what we want to do here from a RISA perspective. So that's the real key. So it's global. And then I have a drive, I guess, personally, is how do we create more opportunity within Rwanda and within Africa to grow the skills that we have here.
Absolutely. I think, Benedict, you have been answered. And if you don't feel satisfied, get back into the comment section and ask again your question. And we do also have a question from Boaz.
That's Kailana. So she's basically asking, what are the steps of becoming part of the workforce? I think in terms of training, and is there a cost for that?
Okay, Lana. Well, you'll be pleased to know that the next section talks a bit more about becoming part of the workforce. No cost. So it's not about saying, right, you give us X amount of money and we'll train you and give you a job. It's part of the business that we do. Like I said, we don't produce anything. Our success is all driven by our talent. So the key from a Tek Experts point of view, and like I said, we are reliant on clients going, yeah, let's do more work, let's put it here. But once we start to do that, you'll see things go out on LinkedIn, and I've got a really strong comms team I work with based around the world that will start to put messages out on LinkedIn through our websites, and then we'll start to work with our talent team here to be able to recruit and start the process of training. So there's an element of near hire training, so training before you join. Talk a bit about that in a minute. And then when you join, there's the actual training you saw in that picture a bit earlier about how we take you through new employee orientation and that kind of thing. But the steps really are keep watching the world of social media, and you'll see us on LinkedIn, you'll see us on the website, and that'll give you opportunity to apply and just check that your skills are really going to fit what's going to make you successful here within Tek Experts.
Yeah, as we looking to see more questions coming. Gary, I had one question. I know a Tek Expert, you guys are big on customer service and providing that world-class service. And as a country, we've been emphasizing it. This may be in another sector, let's say like hospitality. We've been trying to encourage that spirit of customer service and providing the best service there. What do you do differently at Tek Expert to ensure that you're providing that exclusive and great customer service?
It starts from day one, really. It starts from the experience that you get as you come through the recruitment process, through working with my talent team, my HR team, through the training and development team. You've got to get a sense of that you're put at the center of what's going to make you successful. So if you're, and this very much came from my time working with Virgin. It's about if you treat the people you work with how you want to be treated, and you create an experience that makes a difference, then when you speak to somebody else externally, it's just an extension of that. So that idea that we put that customer first, all it is from my team is we put the employee first. What do we do? What do we need to do? And we won't get it right every time. Believe me, in the same way you don't get it right with a customer, we won't get it right every time. But our intent is to make sure that what we do from a customer perspective is reflected from an employee perspective. So you have a good experience. We'll talk through anything that doesn't seem to work, and we'll look to resolve it. Same thing with the customers. So some of it is training. We'll definitely give you the skills to How do you utilize empathy? How do you ask the right questions? How do you create and manage and control a call within a conversation? So there are some skills you can take. Then there's an innate part of you that wants to serve somebody and wants to solve somebody's query. So like you said, from a hospitality perspective, that desire to give somebody a great dining experience, to make sure they've always got the right cutlery, to make sure you're attentive to their needs, translates here. Have I asked the right questions? Have I really understood what your problem is and really kind of empathize that, right, I can understand that's a real problem for you. I'm going to work with you. I'm going to get it sorted. So I'll take ownership of it. And then I do what I say on the tin. I'll get back to you when I do. I find the resolution. And if I need to, I'll escalate, because we can't all individually solve everything. So that element of being stronger together works. I will work with my team. I'll work with my manager. I'll work with my subject matter experts, and we'll give you the answers that'll resolve your query. But it really starts from when you come through the door, and the sense you get when you work with your manager, your leader, or any of my team here, and you just reflect that with your customer.
Yeah, absolutely. I really think that's really key, because if you have a boss, a manager who's not treating you right, there's no way you're going to get the energy to pass on a great service to whoever you're serving. So yes, I think it's from up, down into the people you're serving. We do have a comment from.
Just hold on just a second. I just want to going back to Kailana's question. Everybody that does apply, do they necessarily get in, or is there like a selection criteria where some people don't make it?
Very much selection criteria, and there has to be, because especially because there are lots of people looking for opportunity. So we have to make sure we get the right people to do the job. That right people to do the job is, some of the requirements are defined by a client. So they will say, we want somebody with X, Y, and Z. But there's also a responsibility on our side to not put you in a position where you're going to fail. Back to me in my French call center again. There's no point in me just walking in and doing it. I am not going to be successful. And as everyone that works with me knows, my attempt at speaking French, or even worse, my attempt at speaking Kinyarwanda, is not good. All right, just so you're aware. Very much work in progress.
Don't worry, we'll assist you with that.
No, believe me, it's anyway, working on that. So yeah, there are definitely assessment criteria. We have people that are successful. We have people that aren't successful now, but how about you go and do this, this, and this, and then probably we can bring you in. And there are some people, and it's just not going to be the right job, especially in a tech industry where some people want to be hardcore ones and zeros, backroom development platform kind of person, isn't necessarily going to want to speak to somebody all day, resolve cases, and be interacting with a person. I want to just do my job. I want to code. I want to do all those kind of things. So there's a need to make sure the job is right for people and that they're going to be successful with it. And there's obviously some requirements that the client give us to say, you can only take people on with this kind of thing. We will push that. We will look, because it's about creating opportunity. And I believe we can deliver a lot of that to people. We can give them those skills.
Yep.
A question from the lovely Stuart Beam, all the way from America. How are you doing? Not that you can answer, but it's rhetorical. I hope you're doing well.
So I take it you guys worked together, and he's just. It's a comment and basically a question, and he's like, having worked with you in SA, one of your superpowers is your leadership team and you develop. How is that build going at Tek right now? I think maybe refers to Rwanda here.
Yeah. And Stuart asked, because it's a really good point from a BPO perspective, and certainly part of the South African journey was, how do you create leadership? Because Elevate can give all of those skills and create somebody that really is on point, but that person needs to be coached, they need to be developed, they need to be looked after, they need to be shown that leadership love so that they continue to develop. So creating leadership talent in country is going to be really, really key. From the point of view of my team here, I hope they're not listening, because I deny this if ever asked. They're really good. I've been blessed with a really good team from the point of view of finding the talent, from an HR perspective, from a training perspective, right the way through to finance and IT. So the people that make it work. We've got great team leaders upstairs, and that's driven by how we found them. What we will do is start to develop leadership. So once we've got a bit more scale, we're going to start our level up program, which will start to develop leadership talent. So we should hopefully put a couple of our first engineers on our leadership program in the next month or so. And that, when we grow, we'll look to develop them into those leadership roles. So the key bit definitely is we have to focus on creating it. And from an industry perspective, we have to focus on creating it. Otherwise, it becomes a bottleneck to growth. But what I've seen and how we've worked with guys locally, we've definitely got that ability to do that. We've got a talent pool here that's really open to feedback, a talent pool that wants to develop and wants to grow, and we've got a good number of these guys. So yeah, we're developing it. My superpower. I feel like I should have my underpants outside my trousers wearing a cape. Not an image any of you need to conjure with. I'm just saying, no one needs that image in their head.
Thank you so much, Gary. I think we will get on to the next questions. Please keep adding them into the chat box. And I think we're going to go to the second part of the presentation. And Gary, I think you need to walk us through that.
Okay.
Let me bring it up.
Marvelous. Yep. Okay. We talked a bit about what next and where next, and how do you get to be part of either a Tek Experts journey, or should we manage to grow more investors into Rwanda, the just general outsourcing journey. So one of the things that we have done, and I'm really keen to work with, is to try and pull together partners. So try and pull together opportunities and a group of people or a group of partners that can deliver on those opportunities. We have a skills acceleration program going on at the moment. So we've worked with the GIZ, so worked with the German government and their skilling programs. We work with Harambee already quite closely, and like we talked about with Elevate as well. So the beauty of something like Elevate and even Wise is both Elevate and Wise deliver for Tek Experts, but Elevate and Wise deliver for anyone. So if you've got a digital skilling need, then the Elevate team can deliver that to any company, pretty much in any country. Same with Wise. The Wise product and creating career journeys and career lifelong learning can be delivered for any client. So we've got that ability for those programs and those companies to go and work with anyone, be it Bank of Kigali, be it MTN. They can work and deliver for everyone. For me, how we've pulled it together here is a program that says, we've got guys out there that are close. They maybe have an IT degree or maybe not. So some people who've got an interest in technology. So we all know now the ability to sit at home and YouTube everything. You can learn as much as you can in 3 years of really good study in a university. So we've got people with really great degrees, really good studying, and they've got the paperwork. What they need is almost the practical application and the ability to understand the actual technology that we're going to use. So we worked with the German government, with GIZ, with a team locally in Rwanda, and pulled together a program that delivered the key elements for people being successful, either in Tek Experts, or this is success anywhere in the wider industry. So you can go through this program and then go get a job at MTN or get a job at Airtel. Because what it delivers a combination of technical skill. In this case, we're delivering through Elevate a real understanding of the Microsoft stack, right the way through from the operating system through to the 365 cloud products and all of the way that Microsoft works. So you've got a real good understanding of any of the technology that you could join a company and use. We're going to give you a communication element. So my team here, working with the Harambee team, develop and deliver communication skills. So helping you to understand the empathy piece, the questioning, the what's it going to be like when you walk into work on day one. And then the Harambee team brilliantly come in and help with our Speak English program. So we worked with Harambee when we came into country to develop a program that can be delivered to help people to speak English. One of the things I got to learn very quickly, obviously, if you're in South Africa, you've got different people speaking different languages. So English is a common default. It's a business language. Whereas you come to Kinyarwanda, and unless I'm sat in the room, because I, as we all know, don't understand Kinyarwanda, everyone would speak Kinyarwanda. So there's no natural practice point to be able to practice your English skills. You've learned it, you've studied in it, but as soon as you turn to your friend, you're going to speak Kinyarwanda. So the Speak English program looks at, how do I watch programs that allow me to learn English? How do I practice it? How do I listen to my gospel music in English? Maybe go to an English church, just immerse myself in English a bit more. So that when you start to work, you can communicate easier with people in different parts of the world. So we've got this program running now. We've put the first 80 people through it. The second 40 are just going through now, and we have another tranche starting next week. with an aim to, this is a bit of a pilot program, with an aim to making this an ongoing program. So we're preparing people to be able to move into jobs. And it's really, really hard. And I understand, I know we've talked a bit about it, Lydia. It is a bit like dancing with people and not dating with them, because we have to create this pipeline. I have to create this skill. People will have gone through our assessments and everything looks really good and that job is there for them. Then we have to wait for our clients to say, right, yeah, start the recruitment process, bring people in. And it is tough, and it's tough for all of us. And we want that opportunity, and we want to grow to 300, 500, and 1,000. I haven't got the building I showed you earlier with 3 floors prepped for like 300 people for 60 people to sit in. We will get there. We will grow it. We just have to react to how our clients want to grow, and certainly over the last couple of years, how the pandemic grows. But these skilling programs give people the practical skills to get employed. These things for me are key. And one of the other bits, and I just make sure we got time for just the last few questions. Just finally, we wanted to talk a bit about Rwanda and outsourcing in general. It is a great opportunity. I believe it. When I moved here and I got a sense that this feels like South Africa 17 years ago, how do we work as a team with RDB, with the ministries, with the NGOs, to create an industry body that can bring other investors in? And there could be a potential for around 50,000 jobs. And that's because not just everyone sat in a call center, but you usually quote, every person that's working creates 4 other jobs in some way, shape or form. So be it the motor driver you work with, be it the guy in the cafe where you're buying more food, you've got that ability to create more employment. So there is a real ability to be a bit of a game changer, I guess, from a recruitment landscape perspective. It's a good earning ability. Outsourcing never pays the best in the world, but it's solid earning. It has upsides with incentives, so we can drive a healthy earning potential. And like I said, it will never be, you're never going to knock the lights out in outsourcing, but it's a good salary and it can grow as your career grows. We've got that ability to develop skills and create career paths for people, so you're not just doing the same thing. And it creates positive impact, like I talked a bit about earlier. It's inclusive employment. So we can make sure we drive ladies into technology. We can reach out to communities to create more disability opportunities. It's a very positive way to be able to change that recruitment landscape. And I think the biggest thing and the difference now is that post-pandemic, it's a real window of opportunity. There are more people looking for more outsourced positions in all parts of the world. Before the pandemic, there would be big centers, be it the Philippines, be it India, all the places you may know that were big outsourced operations. But the problem is when you have a pandemic, they all shut down. And if all your eggs are in that one basket, you need to be able to have other support centers to be able to help your operation continue. So creating 1,000-seat call centers here in Rwanda and different parts of the world make a real big difference to global companies being able to provide continued service. So that idea of there's more jobs out there, it's a sourcing process that provides impact. So companies can see that it makes a difference to the communities here that we work with in Rwanda, and it's something that can make a real difference to the country. I believe that. I've seen it in South Africa, makes a difference, and I know we can do that here as well. So yeah, there you go. You can stop here and we can talk now. Well, warble on mainly. So if anyone's got any other questions, more than happy to answer them.
Absolutely. Let me look through the chat box so that we can. I know so many people are giving you compliments, Gary. I think this information has been really, really helpful.
That's brilliant. I'd like more people to talk about how brilliant I am. That's brilliant. Just while you're looking for questions, I just wanted to. I noticed there's been a couple of questions around guys that have been through our recruitment process, and
yes.
that's why I wanted to talk a bit about that when I went through the presentation. It is something that has been harder for us. That journey hopefully gives people a sense. What I don't want people to do is get a sense that it's never going to happen. And I know it's asking a lot. It's been a year or so, maybe longer for some people. But as we grow, that opportunity will be there, and we will either reach out. So we've kept obviously a database of all the people that we've got. We'll either reach out and be able to talk to you, or by all means keep communicating with me or my team here, and we'll keep giving you an update of what the score is. I 100% accept that frustration. It is for me, and it is for us. We want to be. I think we'll be 300 people by the end of the year, and I want us to be 500 into next year, and then moving into 1,000 as we get through to 18 months, 2 years. It is a process, and it does involve us working with our clients. but we'll get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think someone was asking about your plan for, 2022, 2023, something like that. And I think, Gary, you've given the numbers. They will be increasing as we go. And just for people who are frustrated that, they are on the waiting list, that's what we call it,
Yeah.
some, yeah, it's like being on the waiting list. And I'm sure they will be given first priority
Yeah.
whenever, new
That's right.
opportunities
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
in.
We'll
And
match the skill of the person to the opportunity we've got, and we'll do that as quickly as we can. It's back to that dancing and not dating thing, and it is a real tough part of what we have to do.
and it's very understandable, Gary, when like you explained it to me yesterday, that you like you get the request from the customer, like you can't make the decisions yourself. So
Yeah.
that's why there's that time period. And I hope the people who are frustrated about having gone through the whole process, you can understand, because you can't get recruited when there's no work.
Yeah.
So, but definitely they have your details, and they will be in touch. And I want to talk about something that you talked about, people going through all these the trainings and things that help them through either a career at Tech Expert or a career at somewhere else. And I want to know, what are some of the trainings that you provide? So it's a two-part question. First, are there any pre-trainings? Of course, someone has gone to school, they have their software engineering degree. Are there some pre-training certifications that someone needs to stand a chance to be, to have like an upper leg when they're looking for opportunities at Tech Experts? And two, what are some of the trainings, let's say certifications, that someone, as they enter into Tech Expert, what are those that they get?
Okay. Yeah. No worries. For me, I think the key thing is some of the technology stuff. If you've got a mind for technology, and especially if you've got a qualification in technology, then you're on the path. So you've got that right kind of mindset to be problem solving, to want to do research, to be able to speak that technology language. The key here is that what we're developing is very much Rwandan skill. So it's making sure that it's local people delivering this service to the global community. So all my team are local. So we're really, really conscious on making sure that we create skill in Rwanda. It's the only bit that makes a difference, and definitely is something that's driven by RDB to make sure we're recruiting Rwandans to be able to grow it and grow our own communities. So it's very much almost like a local skill we create to deliver the services to the globe. So part of that, I think, when you're sat out there going, right, what do we do next? For me, the biggest thing is be able to communicate and sell yourself in an interview situation. So if you've got some of the technology savvy, yep, certainly go online, do the LinkedIn courses, understand more about technology that's out there, be it cloud, AWS, Google, whatever it is, that helps your understanding. But for me, and what we've seen, is get involved in this practicing your English. Practice speaking English, watch English TV, speak to your friends in English, go to an English church, start practicing that skill, because that's for our industry, and certainly for a lot of the sources that will come here, you'll be answering customers in English to the globe. So if you want to practice anything or be ready for that next step or be able to get an opportunity, it really is the program that Harambee deliver, but you can do a lot of that yourself just by immersing yourself in, like I said, English TV, listen to your music in English, just practice it really, because everyone's got the skill here, not everyone, but broadly people have the skill to understand and comprehend, just practicing it. And my commitment will be, I will try and practice Kinyarwanda. It will not be good, but I will try and practice it.
That's a good
Not
strategy,
crazy. There you go. That's all I'm doing.
so that you can be able to communicate with the local, guys, whenever you
Yeah.
go to buy your food. It's
Yes.
important to,
Rather than
count
just
the
pointing.
mafaranga.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very important. And let's see if we have another question from our audience. I know the one that has been about recruitment that has been answered, and there is one here.
Are foreigners eligible to be part of the workforce? Yes. Our aim is to focus on Rwandan skill, Rwandan talent, but particularly if there's a skill that you can bring to the business, be it a leadership skill, be it a particular technology, then we aren't preclusive. We do have 2 or 3 people who are from the wider East African area. So yeah, it's not preclusive to purely Rwandans, but we focus mainly on that. Our biggest part of our workforce is that.
Yeah, I think that's a good answer, that even foreigners are considered, because I know we have so many students from the East African region and the wider Africa who are attending school here. So I think it's a good thing that they can also get
Yeah,
the
it is, and
opportunity.
it's things like we work with Kepler, and Kepler have a refugee program. So we will happily look to see how we support that element of recruitment and making sure it supports the wider Rwandan and East African community for sure.
Okay. There's a question from Georgie. Nobody? I don't know.
Yeah, so
George.
Lance is just basically saying, are your platforms Wise and Elevate available for usage outside the Tek Experts?
They are indeed, the lovely Lance George. Yes, I know this man from South Africa. So yeah, Wise and Elevate are separate companies, separate entities, and we utilize them as part of the group. But yeah, absolutely, the Wise platform is available to track career journeys and training and lifelong learning in any company, and Elevate will deliver their digital skills across any company, for sure.
I
Thank you,
think,
Lance.
yeah, I guess it's nice to see someone attending your session, and
Well, it depends.
and
If I owed him money, then it wouldn't be, but I don't, so it's okay.
I think, Gary, your second, you need to find a side hustle in comedy, something
Stand
like
up
think
that,
comedy.
because you've
the
been
people
cracking us
that
up
work with
all
me,
day.
the people that work with me think that anyway, so it's fine.
We'll get you a
Absolutely,
stage.
and
We'll get you a
yeah,
stage so you can perform your stand-up.
Well, then Lydia's promised me TV, so I'm looking forward to TV after this. I need votes in the comments. Should I be on TV, please? Vote away.
absolutely. I think we are almost at the close of our session, but we do have one question here from
Okay, so this
Manish.
is, all right, I think you know him?
No, it's a good question, a good one to end on, because we've briefly talked about it. So getting in the database, and as if like we planned this, there's the Tek Experts career site beneath it. So yeah, the real good question, and the key is, and like I said, it's about us creating talent before we need it. So the key is watch our website, watch LinkedIn. So I'm happy to connect on LinkedIn and see where we're going and when we're hiring. Twitter as well is one of the key ones we use. But yeah, you definitely use our website, career portal on there, so you can get a better sense of the group and of the company, and also what opportunities are available from a Rwanda perspective.
Absolutely. And I think as we wind up, I think there are some business opportunities as well. I'll just show it up here. And I know Mr. Gary will take it into consideration. And if you have any other questions, please put them in the comment section. We can always go back to the session and watch them. And for those ones who've been asking if this session is recorded, yes, this session is recorded, and you can watch it on our RDB page, on our Skills Rwanda YouTube channel, Facebook. It's all there. We always keep these sessions on there, just in case you didn't manage to join us live. You can always join us. You see the recorded sessions. Now, Gary, we're coming to the end of the session. You've answered all my questions, and you've answered all the questions of the people in the chat box so far. What would be your conclusive remarks? What would be something you can tell either people who are looking to do business process outsourcing, people who are looking at those business opportunities in Rwanda, and also talk about the talent in Rwanda, how they can position themselves?
Oh, is that all? Really? Gosh, that's enough. I think the opportunity is here. I mean, I sit here, I see it every day. I've got comparison from what's the work and the experience I had in South Africa, the people, the skill, the infrastructure, the way people like RDB work, where the government works to create an environment that's open. I think we've got all of that. I think we've got the ability and the opportunity to do it, and we can create a value proposition that's very compelling. We have an element of being able to really evidence the skills programs we have to create the talent that's right for outsourcing, but we've definitely got the talent and we've got the intent, the ability, and the funding to do that. So there's nothing out there that says, wow, this is a real big blocker. So it's open for business. It's time to do it, and we will work to do that. We've got a conference coming up, just a sort of almost like a precursor. 8th and 9th of March, we're going to start talking about where next for BPO in Rwanda. So we've got an analyst coming in, we've got certain companies coming in, and we'll work with the local teams here as well and with government to say, right, how do we really create this into a package that we can go to market to and get the next investor in? Because it works for all of us. It works for me, more people creating skill and talent, and it works for Rwanda. So we're definitely ready for it. So yeah, visit Rwanda in terms of the sleeve on the Arsenal shirt. Visit Rwanda.
Exactly. Visit Rwanda and you'll see much more than what we can portray on the screen. And I think before we conclude, we have a really good question from Philip. And he's asking if we have a skills database. Yes, Philip, we do have a skills database here at RDB in the Chief Skills Office. And yes, we do maintain that. And in case you need to have a look, have a gauge about how the skill is in Rwanda, you can reach out to us at skillsrwanda at rdb.ra, or we can connect on LinkedIn, and I'll be very happy to help you. Yeah.
Brilliant.
And yep, we are done with our session. No, but do you have anything to comment?
Yes, thank you very much, Lydia. Firstly, I just want to thank you, Gary. You've been a great guest. Your presentation was super, and you also helped that you kept bringing in funny jokes, and it was really overall well explained. And I think now we always see Tek Experts, especially on the internet, wherever you are, you always see Tek Experts in Rwanda. But I think now we really have a grasp of what you actually do and how you do it. Just to remind the audience, guys, they work at the Soros buildings that's in town, the new buildings, the white buildings, very beautiful buildings. So if you want, you can also just visit them there. And then again, of course, I just want to thank our audience. You guys have been superb, all the way from South Africa, from USA, from India, all around the globe. We're happy that you guys could join us today. And please remember just to follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on Twitter, and also Facebook. Skills Rwanda, just simple as that. You can see it on the logo up there, but we're happy to facilitate you and communicate to you there. And then also subscribe to our YouTube page. That's where all our other sessions are also constantly uploaded. So thank you very much, and I hope you have a good evening today and a wonderful weekend as well.
Yes, thank you so much, Norbert. Thank you so much, Gary, for being with us.
Pleasure.
The audience, I know you've been, busy presenting and everything, but if you have time, go back through the session. You'll see people appreciating your content. It was very informative. I've read the comments, and people are very much appreciating what you're doing. This was a meaningful session, Gary. Someone said that, Samuel, and everyone else. Thank you so much to our audience. We are very, very grateful for you being around. Those who are, doing business in the comment section, we appreciate it very much. Come and invest in Rwanda. There's business here. Connect. And thank you so much for being on this session. We look forward to seeing you next time. And if you've not, please, follow us, either on RDB, Skills Rwanda. Follow us there, and you stay updated on different conversations that we'll keep hosting. We really appreciate your time, and thank you very much. You've been a wonderful audience. Have a great time. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.